I just thought, why not? I'm young, I don't have commitments, I wasn't into my career at that point, I even have a house or a family, and so I just did it. It does take courage to be in a different place, in a culture that you don't understand as well as your home culture, and they don't understand you as well.
Yeah.
And still, 26 years on, I love New Zealand and I love Kiwis. I still have to navigate those cultural differences. Sit with them the pain.
Yeah.
And you can't fix it all the time. The only thing you can do is listen and help them understand they're loved, and maybe point them into directions of other resources that might help them out. But yes, I can do this. I will say yes to this, knowing that I'm not doing it alone. And it does take time to sort of, because you feel it, right?
Yeah.
When you're stressed or heavy, and it takes time, they just want you to listen. They just want you to hear their story. Knowing who you are is the most important thing that will get you through in life. And for me, that would be knowing who you are in God, who God created us to be, what mission God's given us in this life.
Yeah. Welcome to Talk with the Courageous Heart. I'm glad you are here today. Let's take a moment to breathe, settle in, and begin today's conversation. Kia ora whanau, welcome to a brand new episode of Talk with a Courageous Heart. As I promised you last time, I have another courageous heart. Before I get this person in, I want to do a very quick introduction. Well, I decided to invite this person because this person has been working as a chaplain for the University in Otago for 20 years. And this person originally from States, and I felt like this person has a lot of things, must have a lot of things to share when it comes to courage and when it comes to working with younger people and how she helping them through their darkest times. I don't know much about this person, and I'm very excited to get to know this person as we go through this journey, and I'm sure you are too. So, without further ado, I would like to invite Amy Armstrong. Take a seat, please. How are you, Amy?
Good, thanks.
Amy, first of all, thank you so much for coming, and I do really appreciate saying yes. How are you today?
I'm good, yeah.
And how do you find the weather this weekend?
It's been very changeable.
Yeah.
Saturday was beautiful. We were out in the garden all day, and then yesterday it was cold and rainy. But that's Dunedin.
Yeah. I mean, before we start, and you mentioned you're from the States, and you've been in this country for 28 years.
26 years.
26 years, and you've been in Dunedin for 26 years, or?
I was in Auckland for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then been in Dunedin ever since.
And you love Dunedin?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Nice. And the other thing, so for the people that who hasn't seen a episode of this podcast, how this works is, I ask my guests few questions. It's all about courage, how courage played a part through different seasons in their lives, and then I let my guests ask me a question. It is only optional. You don't have to ask me a question if you don't have one. Then I will ask her my signature question, which I ask all of my guests. Before I dive into questions, as I mentioned you, I don't know you very well, and people who's watching might know you, might not know you. But if I ask you, who are you? How would you describe yourself?
Gosh, so yeah, I'm just. I think it's a good question. I think knowing who you are is a big part of our journey, and I think, even as you mentioned, I work in chaplaincy. One of my favorite parts of being a chaplain is you get to help young people at an age when they're sort of discovering themselves and who they are for themselves, to know who that is. And for me, it's very much tied up with my faith. So who I am is very much who God created me to be, and I think we're all created to be unique and different. Yeah, I'm just a regular girl who comes from the Minnesota originally, loves to be outside, swim and do music, hang out with my family and friends.
Amazing. Thank you for that beautiful explanation. This sorry, this because we talk about courage in this podcast. Sorry, excuse me. I just want to ask you, as we diving into first question, in your words, what courage means to you, and can you take me to a moment where you had to be courageous?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot since you've invited me to have this interview, and I think it depends on your age and stage of life too. What does courage mean? And like, does it mean you have the courage to bungee jump? But like, is that a courageous action? Or, but for me, it's more showing up every day for the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Being there for people, being there for your family, in the hard times and in the good times. And it's sort of it's probably where I'm at in my life, being there for the long road.
Yeah.
And the long road has bumps, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like every road has a bump.
Every road has a bump.
Also, it depends on where you are in your life. Like, I feel like you are in a place that, you're focusing on your family right now. And the younger ones, they mostly focusing on their career or their studies or figuring out who they are. And thank you for sharing that. And, as you mentioned, you have moved from your states to New Zealand, and you live between different cultures. What has that journey been like for you personally, and how did it lead you to becoming a chaplain?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it is tied up with courage, because I was thinking about, was it courageous for me to move across the world? I was 25 at the time.
Wow.
And again, it's that age perspective. It was just exciting. At 25, my husband is a Kiwi, and I had met him in the U.S. At a summer camp.
Yeah.
I just thought, why not? I'm young, I don't have commitments, I wasn't into my career at that point, I even have a house or a family, and so I just did it. And was excited to do it. It's not that usual for Midwest people to immigrate to the other side of the world.
That is right. Yes,
Kiwis
go
all over the world.
Yeah.
But the courageous part for me has been, so now I've been here half my life. Been here 26 years, and it's funny. It kind of gets harder as you go, even though. Because at first it's just exciting and you're loving all the differences and learning a new culture and getting to know my husband's family. That was really fun for me when I first arrived. We weren't married at the time, we were still discerning. But as you get older, now I have one son who's 12, and wanting him to know that other side of his culture, because he's American and Kiwi.
That is right, yes.
And being away from my family, as you get older, it gets harder.
Yeah.
Probably because when you're young, you're just thinking more about yourself. You're not thinking so much about them. And then when you have a child whose one set of grandparents is overseas. So yeah, it does take courage to be in a different place, in a culture that you don't understand as well as your home culture, and they don't understand you as well.
Yeah.
And still, 26 years on, I love New Zealand and I love Kiwis. I still have to navigate those cultural differences.
Yeah,
and that surprises me.
Yeah, and I guess I feel like when you move, like when you migrate, like even I'm originally from Sri Lanka and I've been here about 12 years now. Like, I think what hardest thing is, like, not for me, my mom and dad.
Yes.
Because my mom and dad has their parents, like my mom has her parents in Sri Lanka, and they're getting old, and it is really hard for them because they can't go back and look after them because they have to be here for us, their kids. And I kind of get what you mean. Like, it is really, really hard, and like navigating and like finding the balance between those two cultures and countries, and how to balance things. And look, sorry, Thank you for being honest and sharing that. As I mentioned, and you mentioned, you choose to become a chaplain, and when people open up about what they're going through, have there been a moment where you feel heavy, but you still choose to be present for them?
Yeah, definitely. So, as you mentioned, I've been doing this for 20 years part-time, and there's definitely been heavy moments. It's not every day that's heavy, but there's certainly been moments where students are really struggling with something, or there's been a death on campus.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's hard. Those are the hard times. Like as I mentioned, the fun times are helping young people get to know who they are and understand their place in the world. Some of that you have to grapple with the hard stuff, and it can be really hard. And you feel for them, and you sort of, as human to human, you're feeling some of their pain, but that's another moment of courage. You choose to sit with them in the pain.
Yeah.
And you can't fix it all the time. The only thing you can do is listen and help them understand they're loved, and maybe point them into directions of other resources that might help them out. But just choosing that moment of sitting there with them and holding that pain with them, instead of running, because sometimes we feel like running from the pain or moving past it quickly to help them fix it. And sometimes you just need to sit with it in the heaviness.
And may I just quickly ask you, what got you into be a chaplain?
Yeah, so it's a call, really. I had felt the call to do something in ministry, I guess, with people. And as a Catholic married woman, it's not a straight path. Like, obviously I can't be a priest, and I was married, so I couldn't be a religious. And I had been, Father Mark, who was in chaplaincy at the time, I was in his parish, and he had probably sensed the call in me. We had, had many conversations, and he asked me if it's something I would feel I would be called to do, and I said, yeah, I'll go away and pray about it. But I knew straight away it was something I really wanted to do.
And this was like 20 years ago.
20 years ago, I know.
And looking back today, are you happy with the decision you made?
Oh, absolutely. It's been a joy, and there's been hard times, but I felt, it's a place where I'm called to be and meant to be. And every year I think, am I getting too old for this? Like, I'm more than twice the age of the students.
Yeah.
But, sometimes they're looking for someone with just a bit older, with a bit more wisdom or experience to help them on the journey. And I do love it.
And I think you are in a really good place to give advice to, because you've been there, in their shoes, and you have more experience as well. I think sometimes, I think when people talk to you, I think they sometimes they don't expect you to tell you what to do. I think they expect you to, they want to be heard. Yeah. And
that's right.
That leads me to my next question, which is, you support many young people, but at the end of the day, we are all human. We all are going through our own stuff as well. And how do you personally navigate those times when things feel heavy for you?
How do I get through them?
Like how do you find the balance, or how do you navigate? And
well, there's sort of two parts of that. So, like, as a chaplain, when you're carrying other people's heavy stuff, you have to learn how to then lay it down and not take it on with you, because you just keep getting too many people's heaviness. So you have to have a practice, or you learn how to just sort of lay that down and realize you can't fix it or hold that for everyone. Just in that time you can, when you're listening to them. And I mean, I've certainly had my hard times, and when you're going through your own hard stuff, it is harder you have to again, it's a skill. You have to park your stuff while you're listening to another, and because otherwise you can really bring your stuff to a session with a student and put it onto them, which is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, for me, a lot of it's prayer. Because of my faith, I even imagine God in the room at times. In my office, there's sort of a couch and 2 chairs, and I imagine God in the other chair, because the students always take the couch because it's the most comfortable place.
Fair enough.
And I just, out of the corner of my eye, I imagine God there listening with me and holding the heaviest stuff, because I always think God's in the room with us, and even holding my stuff. So if something they say triggers something in me, I'll just subconscious or quietly, prayerfully hand it over to God, and then just focus on the student. So for me, that's probably the biggest thing, knowing I can't carry it myself, but God is there with us to hold the heaviest stuff, the hardest stuff.
And you just mentioned like you have to learn how to unload things before you go to the next session, or before you deal with your own stuff. And did you learn it right away, or did it take time for you to learn?
That's a good question too. So I knew right away, because in the training, even in any training you do with ministry, you learn that you have to take care of yourself and set things aside. But when you know it in theory, it takes time and practice to put it into practice. And that's really a courageous moment, saying, yes, I can do this. I will say yes to this, knowing that I'm not doing it alone. And it does take time to sort of, because you feel it, right? When you're stressed or heavy, and it takes time to learn how to, okay, I recognize it, I see it, I'll set it aside. But it's a lifelong journey. I mean, there's moments when I can do it better than others. Still, sometimes if something heavy is going on in life, it is harder to minister when you're going through your own stuff. But you do get better at recognizing what's happening within you.
And I just want to quickly ask you that this could be like, you can give us like a very short version of this. Like, it's not just not for the people, like for the people who does like Chaplain, and like this could be really good for the people as well. When we carry, let's say for example, we carry someone else's burden, like someone else's problem, like my friends going through something, and it's weighing me down, and I'm dealing with my own thing as well, and it's weighing me down, weighing me down as well. How do we like, what could we do to separate those two so we can like kind of dealt with one by one?
Good question, because you're right, it does happen to all of us, right? And I think the most important thing is to recognize that it's happening, because sometimes we're moving so fast through life, or unexpectedly a friend can come up with something that they want to share with you.
That's right,
and it catches you off guard.
That's right.
And sometimes you feel like saying, I've got enough on right now, I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, honestly, like the biggest part of it is recognizing that feeling, like within yourself. Like my friend comes up and you're feeling overwhelmed, and just saying like, okay, I see you, and then just sort of mentally put it aside, and then just be present to that person. And also, I think sometimes the overwhelming feeling comes from, I have to fix this.
Yeah.
And you said before, and I think that's really key, is they just want you to listen. They just want you to hear their story. So it's sort of recognizing, okay, I might have some feeling inside, but I can honor them and set them aside, because right now all I have to do is listen and be present.
Well, thank you so much for that beautiful advice, and I do really appreciate that, because I was always wondering about that, like how do we like keep our two or three, whatever, how many things that weighing us down, how do we separate them, and how do we deal with one by one at a time? I just want to ask you a very quick question, because you can take your time for this, because I didn't ask you before. After you being in this job, you being working as a chaplain for 20 years, what is the one realization you have realized?
I think that one is hard, but probably two.
Yeah. Just go for it.
And I've sort of mentioned both of these things, but knowing who you are is the most important thing that will get you through in life. And for me, that would be knowing who you are in God, who God created us to be, what mission God's given us in this life.
Yeah.
And if you can keep coming back to that, and for people who are with me, it's the same. They just want to know who they are. And also, they just want to be known and loved, right? So, especially at that age when you're discovering who you are, you often, people coming from a different city or a different country, and obviously that's something I can really relate to. You just want to be known and loved.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think it's hard when you're in a culture or a city where your main support structures aren't there. The main cues of social, cultural humor, like, it's a big thing when you were funny in one place and you move to another culture and you say something and nobody laughs.
That's so true.
For the laugh. And that's the loneliness, right? So I think being known and loved counteracts that loneliness. So if you're just sitting with a student who has some heavy stuff, they just want someone to hear it, to know what they're going through, to know that they're loved, and by me, by God. Although all students that come to me might not have, faith might not be important to them.
Yeah.
So I just try to show them that love.
Yeah.
Through who I am.
And like, you are Catholic, and I'm Catholic as well. And that's good you mentioned, like, there are some people who come to you with like, not faith-based, but how do you deal with a person who comes to you or in a different faith or without faith? How do you deal with that person? Because I feel like could be slightly different way approaching that.
Definitely. I always ask them if they're going through a hard time, is faith something that's part of your journey? And if it is, for me, it's kind of easier to then bring God into it and to know that there's something bigger than them that's helping them through. But if they're not, it's harder in that I think, gosh, how do you do it without faith?
Yeah.
But you just be there and listen and love them, and I think that's just mostly what people want, to be listened to and to be loved.
That's so true. And look, thank you so much for sharing that. I do really appreciate that. I just want to, like we talked about how your experiences, and I just want to talk about, looking ahead, and what is something you feel called to continue or step into, even if it's required courage.
Oof.
This could be your next, like what is the next step that, you think that?
I guess, I don't know, because the way I approach life is sort of like, I don't know what God's going to bring. So I have a wider role, so chaplaincy is just part-time.
Yeah.
I do that part-time, and my wider role is as the pastoral ministry coordinator for the Diocese of Dunedin. And
all right.
It's kind of a big role, and I'm just one person, and I can only do what I can.
Yeah.
So, I guess I haven't thought about next steps in terms of what am I going to step into, but I do know that every year something comes across my desk that might feel big or might feel new or something I haven't done before or I don't feel I have the confidence to do, and it's just at that moment saying, okay, I'm going to say yes with who I am, as I am, and I'll just do it in the best way that I can. And I think what I've learned over the years is because working in ministry, one thing that really helps me get through is my colleagues. Couldn't do this without, like, if I have heaviness, I share it with a supervisor, I share it with my colleagues, and that really helps you through. But you have to do it in the way that is authentically you.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not asking just as a chaplain, just in your personal lives. As people, we all have our dreams, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing you have dreams as well. Would you say that that's right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard and I read, you know, dreams without goals is a disappointment. And if I ask you, what is your next goal? Would be?
Oh
It
gosh.
could be in your career, could be in your personal life, and
Yeah.
was it a hard question?
It's a hard question just because of who I am as a person. I'm not a super goal-oriented person.
Okay, I
and
understand.
It's a way.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a stage of life too, but I guess balance in life is my biggest goal. As you get more into your career and you get busier, and your child is getting older, and you're still in a partnership in your marriage.
Yes.
So
right.
my biggest goal is to. Because, you know, I guess in a sense I want to do it all. Right?
Yeah.
Actually, I was just talking to a young woman the other day about, can you have a career, can you have a family, and can you still attend to your own needs? And the answer is yes, you can, and it's very tricky at times. When you're busy in work.
Yes.
Are you attending enough at home? And so I guess that is my biggest goal, is to find the balance between career, vocation, family, and attending to myself. And sometimes I do it really well, and sometimes I get it wrong, and it's watching out for those signs. Maybe my son is more upset than usual, and I can tell he's missing me and missing some interaction with me.
Yes.
Because while I want to be present to the students, I also want to be present to my family.
That's right.
And myself.
Yes.
And I know, and then watching for those signs within myself too, that I'm feeling a bit off, or I'm feeling a bit stressed or cranky. It's just the child in me saying, hey, look after me too, you know? So it's not a very sort of exciting goal.
No,
I guess.
it is a goal. I mean, it's, again, as you mentioned, it depends on the person.
Yeah.
I think, I agree, because it's really hard to juggle everything.
Yeah.
Finding balance is hard, but it's also not impossible. So I think I would say it is a very realistic goal, that finding that balance. Again, thank you for sharing that. Before I go, that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay.
Before I go to, though, I had this question I ask all of my guests, but before I go to that question, this is where I let my guests ask me a question.
Yeah.
It is only optional, but do you have a question for me?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll just turn that last question back to you. Do you have a goal in life? What would your goals be? Maybe you're more driven than me.
I didn't see that coming. My goal. Well, I think my goal is to figure out who I am really at the moment.
Cool.
And my goal is to, I have few goals, to be honest. I want to improve my public speaking level, speaking skills, and just really want to figure out what I'm really called to do. And I think I'm on the way. So I think those two, and also finding that balance in life, because I'm working and doing this podcast and doing other things as well. So finding that balance, spend time with my family as well. Yeah, so I would say that those three are the main goals. Just finding that balance, improving my public speaking skills, and figure out what I'm really called to do. So I hope I gave you a good answer.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so it's still journeying and discerning where I'm really called by God. So this last question probably really good to ask from a person who does work as a chaplain. What is one thing you would say to someone who feels like giving up right now?
You are loved, don't don't underestimate how much you are loved by God, by those around you, even if you don't feel it sometimes. Hang in there for the moment when you feel it, because you are loved, and it will come.
I love that. And what if we say that to a person without faith?
I would just say those around you love you, your friends and your family, and because that's true for all of us.
Yes.
Although sometimes, it depends on the situation. Like if there was someone who was really estranged from their family, and they would say, "Oh, it wouldn't be helpful at the moment."
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I would just say you have value in this world, and you have a place in this world, and hang in there, because one day you will understand it more.
Yeah. Amy, thank you so much for all the wisdom and knowledge you shared today, and all the experience, and I can't be more grateful. I really had this is the first time we talk in person, and I didn't feel you like a stranger at all. And I feel like I really had a good conversation with you. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
That's good.
Well, keep up the good work. I look forward to
thank you so much.
Hearing some of your other guests.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that kind words. I appreciate the support. Well, I don't know when I'm going to see you again. I don't think I will be back in Dunedin for many years. I feel like, but I'll keep you in my prayer, and I wish you nothing but the best, and keep doing what you're doing, and that the work you're doing is amazing.
Thank you.
I feel like the world need more people like you, who helps other people get through their darkest times. And I honor you, and I respect that respect what you do. Again, for the people who tuned in today, thank you so much for tuning in. I leave you with the promise and hope that I would be back with another courageous heart. Until then, be safe, be courageous, and God bless you. Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. It went really well. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
This podcast is still growing, so every follow and share truly means a lot. Thank you for listening to Talk with a Courageous Heart.